my reputation started in aviation, where I was the chief safety officer at the world's largest airline. And I developed a program known as A.S.A.P, which led to a 95% reduction in the industry fatal accident rate. From there, I was invited by the Surgeon General, David Satcher, years ago in 2000, to come to Washington and meet with a group of healthcare professionals under the Health and Human Services Department. So for about the last 2 decades, I've worked in multiple industries, including healthcare, aviation, law enforcement, emergency medical services, and nuclear power. At some level, any business or organization is high consequence to the people involved, the owners, the employees, the shareholders. So what has worked in those high consequence industries can absolutely work in any business. Let's play a little game. Do you have car insurance for the car you drive, Stephanie?
I do.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to pretend like I am your insurance agent. Now, would you agree that if we could find out how you drive every day, day in, day out, that would give us a better profile of the risk of you driving a car?
Sure.
So the game I want to play is, would you do me a favor? Would you call me anytime you go over the speed limit today while you're driving? Or would you tell me when you talk on the phone or you get distracted and maybe you even text while you're at a red light? Would you just call and let me know so I can build a profile on you to understand how risky you are?
I'm going to say no, but go.
You're going to say no. And most people aren't going to come to their boss at the end of the day and say, let me give you a list of all the risky things I did. Because the way you're going to measure me is on outcomes. Well, what does high reliability mean? I can define that as consistent high performance over an extended period of time in a small number of attributes. There's a really small subset or set of what we call attributes of high reliability that are universal. You have to be safe. You have to care about people's privacy. If they're a customer of yours, you can't release their personal data. You have to pay attention to infrastructure. So if you're a hospital, a safe hospital, but you get shut down by a cyber attack, everything you do is going to be affected. So infrastructure is important. Equity, diversity, belonging. We know that those attributes are important when you serve a diverse community. So there's a small set of attributes that we define. Socio-technical is a geeky word for people working inside systems, and you have to be good at both. You can't just manage. If you put outstanding people in a poor system, you won't get great results. And you can make that analogy in sports, in the theater. You can take a great actor and give them a lousy script, or put them in a bad situation, or a pro quarterback and put them in a system that's not very well developed. You won't get great results. On the contrast, if you take an average individual and put them in a very well-designed system, you'll get better results than others will get. So that goes hand in hand at how you build up an organization. You want to put people to give them in their best chance of success by putting them in a reliable system. The way our society manages the risk of drunk driving is through the legal system. Our legal system is not designed to manage risk, because in order to enter our legal system, either as a plaintiff or a defendant, there has to be evidence of harm. We only get standing in a legal case if we can show harm. The way we manage drunk driving is a police officer will pull you over if they suspect that you're driving intoxicated, or there's a car crash where we take your blood alcohol level. Well, on average, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration told me that on average, for every drunk driver arrested, they have driven drunk 88 times previously without having been caught. most of the time that risk is out there interacting in the socio-technical world, and we don't see it. We learn most from our most recent experiences. And so when we do something, no matter how we were trained, when we get by ourselves and no one's watching and we cut a corner and nothing bad happens, oftentimes we learn the wrong lesson from that successful outcome. We're treating patients in a hospital. We're supposed to wash our hands for 15 seconds and sing happy birthday twice. Well, if no one's watching, what's the harm in only doing it for 5 seconds? Or what's the harm in skipping it altogether? The feedback loop is missing. Rarely does a patient get an infection right then and it's traced back to you. We do these things repeatedly because we don't see and understand the risk, and we learn the wrong lessons from our successful outcomes. And so we end up surprised when catastrophe occurs.
When does this side of you get on your nerves or cause an annoyance, or like, oh, if I just shut my brain off for 10 minutes, let me eat this 2-day-old sushi, but I can't because I know the risk?
Oh my gosh. Well, I was talking to my son last night, and we were talking about the foods we eat. Remember when red wine was thought to be great for coronary artery disease? And I was really rallying around that, right? Now the latest research is saying, yeah, there may not be a safe level of alcohol consumption. Now, we were eating a dinner last night, and the food that I ordered came with rice, and I looked down at the food, and it was white rice instead of brown rice, which, as you know, is a whole grain. And my son said, "You're not going to eat that, are you, Dad?" And I said, "Well, probably not." And he said, "You got to lighten up." He said, "You got to enjoy your life a little bit."
If you enjoy this podcast, please make sure to subscribe. And to stay updated on everything that the Action Catalyst is up to, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Action Catalyst Podcast, and on Twitter at Catalyst_Action. And thanks for listening.